My own, I'm saying it for the first time, was that my tubes, one of them was damaged.
I'm sorry.
Yes, and they had to take it off. I shouldn't have said this, but you see, now, a lot of women are going through this. After taking one tube out, the other one is basically not functioning. And the only option for me was IVF. Last 8 years has been more intense. That's why I started seeing the doctors, and then they will tell you, we need to wash your system, we need to clean the womb.
What does washing your womb mean?
The term I've forgotten. I mean, after having magazine, I decided to close that chapter with the doctors. I'm done with you.
But what's the procedure like?
The procedure is so intense that they insert some liquid into your womb, your tubes, to clear any blockage. Yeah, and it's very painful.
It's painful?
Very painful. Mine was painful. The many times I did it was painful.
How many times did you do it?
I think I did about 6 times. Yes. The 6 times I'd done some before from 2010 coming. Yes. 206 coming. I did about 2 and I had to relax. From 2010 I did 1. 2012 I did about 2, but when I met my husband I did 2 more. And it became like 6 for me. But I realized that that is not working for me. The blockage, I had no tube blockage, but they couldn't know why I was not getting pregnant. However, when I started the IVF about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, because with the IVF, it took me about 8 months before I got pregnant. And that is because I had fibroid. They had to take the fibroid off, and I had to stay home for about 3 months or 4 before they started the main IVF procedure. My own, I'm saying it for the first time, was that my tubes, one of them was damaged.
I'm sorry.
Yes, and they had to take it off. I shouldn't have said this, but you see, now, a lot of women are going through this. Mine, I have my results, I have magazine, and no matter what I went through, I have gotten what I wanted. I have a baby now, and my story has changed. But if you are in the process now, everybody's own is different. From the beginning, I thought my womb is clear, my tubes are okay, but in the process, they realized that they had to take one off. It's totally damaged. That if they keep it, it might damage the whole procedure, or it might not make it work. It's a whole lot of things, the emotional stress.
Yeah.
Now, people need to hear this so that they know that they are not alone in search of a baby. Mm-hmm. After taking one tube out, the other one is basically not functioning. And the only option for me was IVF. And that's where I had to take the fibroids off, because they will tell you that it's a very long procedure. It takes too much energy. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it may not be able to even, it may not work. So in all this, you hope and pray that the money, the time, the energy, everything that comes, you must have a good result, and only God can give you that good result.
Yeah.
And now, if you have to take injection for days at the same time, take your medications at the same time, you can't do anything. Your mind, your energy, everything is towards the procedure.
What's the procedure like? What exactly happens?
The procedure is they will, the doctors definitely, they would have to run tests on you, a thorough one, to know how your system is positioned. And again, it is not just about you, the woman, they need your husband as well to be part of the procedure. However, the main instrument or the main body or the system they need is you, the woman. Now, first of all, after running the test, they are going to see if your womb or you have your ovaries are active. And if it's not, sometimes depending on your age, they would have to increase your medication, or you would have to be taking more medication to develop more hormones. And that takes time.
Is it very expensive to do an IVF treatment in Ghana?
No, yes. A very, very big yes. And that's what scares people mostly.
Yeah.
They say, Miniska, no. And it's true. It depends on you, the person, the procedure, your system. However, I'm going to give a very raw figure because I personally I had some privileges. So some of the things I didn't pay. I mean, some things were given to me, medication, the hospital and all that. But I know it's between $4,000 to $8,000 in between. Yeah. Converting to Ghana cedis, it's above 30,000 Ghana, mostly upwards.
For the procedure alone?
For the procedure alone. Sometimes you buy your medication aside separately. Sometimes you go to the hospital overnight and all that are paid separately. And that's why I'm saying it's different.
Yeah.
But my first one, you see, the sad part is this now. As for the procedure, the doctors are there to take you through all. And when you are ready, you are ready. It doesn't matter how long or what it takes. But this is it now. If you are ready to spend, if you are ready for this, and at the end of the day, it doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
You want to die. My first one didn't work for me, and if I tell you what I went through the night when I realized that it was negative, I couldn't sleep for about a week. Because aside the money, I was asking myself, how long? I know someone who has done it 7 times.
Wow.
Yes. And the 8th one gave her twins. But can you wait? Nah? Can you wait? Or in waiting, the things that you are going to go through, it is not easy. Mainly, that is where I want to share with my people. They are ready to help you, but they can't do anything beyond the results than to start all over again.
Do they offer counseling at that point? Because
the hospital did that for me. They did that for me. Actually, the owner is more than a counselor, and I have a very good rapport, so they did that for me. And she was calling, she was there and all that. You need somebody at that moment. My husband did that for me. My mom did that for me. Few friends, they did that. So the only option again was to go back
and start all
over again. They will need you and your husband together, some sperms. That's the easiest term for it. And then you will start and wait all over again for another 2 weeks before you get to know your results. So in waiting in that time, the procedure was not the same, but it was even more than the previous one.
As in, it was easier or more difficult?
The procedure was easier, but after the procedure, in the waiting, you don't want to have a negative result again.
Yeah.
Yet I was just denying my thought. It was a confusing moment for me going to the hospital. When I went there, the main nurse was like, Nana, why? You look sad already. I said, oh, it's okay. He said, no, you don't have to look like that. Let's go. And when I went there, I had to go to the lab and see if I'm in waiting. I was just hopeless.
Did you go alone?
Yes. I went alone because I just felt like I'm in it alone. My husband would say whatever, but console me or comfort me and all that. But he already had 2 kids, so mostly I just feel like he doesn't understand how I feel. Sometimes that's how we feel.
Yeah.
That you don't understand the way I feel.
Nobody will understand.
Yes. However, he's showing all the care and all that, but the support. But I wasn't seeing it. It was about me at that moment. But thank God that when the results came and the doctor was like, oh, it's a very when he said for a minute, I thought, the movie kind of scene where they were like, we hope that the future or something. So I was just hoping that it won't be the same result, God. And he was like, Amma, let's thank God. You are pregnant. When he said you're pregnant, I was still thinking I was shooting my scene. You're pregnant. So I was going to, I'm sure he was hoping that I was going to go, oh my God. For a minute, I was doubting the positive news. For a minute now. What was I mean? My try. And not my train, but every time has been negative. So for a minute, I thought he was lying.
Yeah.
And Dr. Ellis, he was like, oh, Nana, you are not happy. I said, Doctor, are you sure? Because coming from home, even though the result, this is what I want, but as I my story changed from that day. The only thing that came to my mind when I came was, Radhe, I don't want you to change my story and say after 3 months there's a miscarriage. After 6 months or after 7 months. He saw me going through all the procedure, and he saw the anxiety. He saw that I'm also hoping for good news. However, he was ready for any news because he can't be broken down like I was, so he should be the one to support me. However, he was hoping that I get pregnant because when him say no one over to me, I am mommy. Nah, what I say? When him say I did back when mommy and any beji, I bear me fair. Seminya ba, it's not about car, it's not about be a fear no, but on me or boy me no minya ba no bia. When him say I will appreciate that alone for a very long, and it's true. I do appreciate him, for magazine, Pam. But at the hospital, I called him. I said, "Babe," I said, "Yes." I said, "My baby soon." I said, "Oh no, I'm not going to cry." The doctor says I'm pregnant. I said, "Oh boy." He said, like, "Oh boy." I said, "Oh," but because he thought, say, maybe I'm back a year, or also babe, or they're disappointed or something. So maybe I have already encouraged myself, and I'm trying to be nice, however. And he was like, "Oh boy." I said, "No, boy, I am." So I snapped the result
I sent it
to him. He was like, "Hey, Yama." He sent me, "Hey, Yama," and then he called back. "Hey, Yama." I was like, when he called back, I said, "Hey, Yama, into why?" And I was in a hospital. And I was in Mekofi. And then he closed early, and then he came. When he came, he was just smiling. It's like when he trimmed everyone in here. You can see it, you see?
Yeah.
And he was, "Wow, Mama. Okay, then don't do anything. No. Don't do this, don't do that." No, I said, "Me, when I'm back." I'm not going anywhere. And then I told him, babe, I can't have sex for some time. Well, but we are not having, it's been like that now. In the process, one of the things that the people don't know is that your husband is like 40% of the process. And you are the vessel, so you 60% of it. Whatever comes out of their words to you should be more encouraging.
Positive.
Should be positive. Their words alone. That's all mostly after the procedure. If you think that you've done what you need to do alone, or you've done, that's not the only thing we need from them. When I look at the way the procedure and how my husband helped me through, I realized that he's been really, really part of it.
Yeah.